Stop the presses. I've got another insight into deadlines that a client shared with me. Aggressive deadlines can actually be your secret weapon for creativity and growth. I was dubious, but she talked me through it, and I get it, and I'm excited to share it with you. By setting challenging deadlines, you can push yourself beyond the boundaries of perfectionism and unlock new levels of creativity and efficiency. So in this week's podcast, I'm going to share these discoveries on how adopting aggressive deadlines can reframe your relationship with failure and boost your creative process. Hey everyone, I'm Laverne McKinnon and welcome to the Moonshot Mentor podcast. I'm a certified career coach and a grief recovery specialist, and I love to help ambitious-driven people feel confident, empowered, and excited after experiencing a career setback. Whether it's from feeling stuck in a tough period or frustration from slow progress, I offer up tools and resources to help you meet your full potential. If you want to get great at something, try using aggressive deadlines. Aggressive deadlines are a way to confront perfectionism and leapfrog over the resistance to failure. Now, some of you might be calling bullshit on me because I recently posted a podcast about how hurtful arbitrary deadlines are, but this is different. There's an important distinction between choosing an aggressive deadline that you know you won't meet versus an arbitrary deadline that has no intention behind it. What's cool about aggressive deadlines is that they challenge your relationship with failure. When you lose the fear of failure, you're free to innovate, which can lead to a lot of really bad ideas and some really, really great inspired ones. Repeating this process leads to becoming best in class. Now, here's what can happen when you set out to do something, knowing that you won't actually meet the deadline. You stop overthinking your work. You sharpen your ability to quickly assess and discern. You rely on partners and empower others, increasing your capacity. You create energy and momentum. Aggressive deadlines are not for everybody. Now, if you're intrigued though, keep listening. Aggressive deadlines remind me a lot of Tina Fey's experience on Saturday Night Live. She wrote about it in her book, Bossy Pants, which I enjoyed immensely. It was really, really funny, of course, and I loved how straightforward and practical she was as well. So whether she wanted to or not, Tina went on live television every Saturday night. She wrote in her book, "The show doesn't go on because it's ready, it goes on because it's 11:30. During the week leading up to the live show, Tina and a team of writers were responsible for writing about 40 to 50 sketches. Now, of those 40 to 50, only about 8 of them were chosen to be performed. So they couldn't be precious about ideas, writing, rehearsal, or execution. Tina also writes in her book, and this is a little bit of a longer quote, "You can't be that kid standing at the top of the water slide, overthinking it. You have to go down the chute." And I'm from a generation where a lot of people died on water slides, so this was an important lesson for me to learn. That's from Tina. You have to let people see what you wrote. It will never be perfect, but perfect is overrated. Perfect is boring on live TV. So there was no time to be angsty or have a dialogue with the inner critic about what happened with the live show on Saturday Night Live. Why? Because the team had less than 48 hours from Saturday night to Monday morning when they had to start the entire process all over again. Okay, another Tina Fey quote. "You have to try your hardest to be at the top of your game and improve every joke you can until the last possible second. And then you have to let it go." So they had to be excellent at assessment and rely on each other because clearly one person could not generate that amount of material from Monday to Saturday night. So if you've watched SNL, you know that the show has its fair share of hitting things out of the ballpark as much as they've had swings and misses. It's the nature of creativity and especially fast live TV. Anything can and will happen. By the way, I can't wait to see that movie about the original SNL. It's directed by Jason Reitman, and I think it's coming out right around when I'm publishing this podcast. I have nothing to do with that movie. I'm just excited. So what a show like SNL and aggressive deadlines do is effectively reframe your relationship with failure. Failure because it becomes inevitable. So rather than fighting it, you just embrace it as part of the process. Failure becomes a tool rather than a judgment that stops you in your tracks. Failure allows you to assess what worked and what didn't. No failure is devoid of great ideas or moments of excellence. There's always an element to build off of or expand upon next time. Just like there are elements to discard or use for other purposes. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Aggressive deadlines force you to be in a relationship with failure rather than do everything to avoid it. When you avoid failure, it controls you and you play small. If you want to be great, get good at failing. Now, I have a client, Kathy, who's a big fan of aggressive deadlines. She says she loves how she can get to great ideas quicker. She also finds aggressive deadlines less stressful because it's okay if she doesn't meet them. Kathy is committed to getting better at whatever she's doing. This might be you too. The other type of person who thrives under aggressive deadlines is a person who can deal with uncertainty. They're totally at ease with the how is this ever going to get done on time question because it's all a discovery process. They operate from an engaged and detached perspective. What this means is that you keep going and you stop trying to control the outcome. Finally, aggressive deadlines are for you if you want to grow in your tolerance of failure and uncertainty. In doing so, you will foster a growth mindset that sets you up to scale your learning. It develops your resiliency, creativity, and problem-solving abilities. And perhaps most importantly, it sets you up as a leader who can manage what others consider high-stress situations. Okay, you have to forgive me. I'm clearly a gigantic Tina Fey fan. I've got one more quote for you from her. What I learned about bombing as an improviser at Second City was that bombing is painful, but it doesn't kill you. No matter how badly an improv set goes, you will still be physically alive when it's over. What I learned about bombing as a writer at Saturday night is that you can't be too worried about your permanent record. Yes, you're going to write some sketches that you love and are proud of forever, your golden nuggets. But you're also going to write some real shit nuggets. And unfortunately, sometimes the shit nuggets will make it onto the air. You can't worry about it. As long as you know the difference, you can go back to panning for gold on Monday. Awesome quote. Thank you, Tina Fey. So bottom line, embracing aggressive deadlines can transform how you approach creativity and productivity. It's more about just like meeting a date. It's about shifting your mindset. By setting ambitious goals, you force yourself to move past perfectionism and engage deeply with the process, knowing that failure is just a stepping stone toward innovation. In the spirit of Tina Fey's experiences on SNL, aggressive deadlines push you to let go of overthinking and dive straight into action. This approach doesn't allow for the luxury of perfectionism, but instead fosters a rapid cycle of feedback and improvement. Ultimately, aggressive deadlines are a tool for growth, encouraging you to see failure not as a final verdict, but as a crucial part of your development journey. If you can embrace this mindset, you'll find yourself better equipped to handle high-stress situations, drive innovation, and lead with confidence. So that's it for this week. Next week, I'm really vibing off the positive responses that I've been getting to the podcast about networking. So I'm taking on another reader question about how to shift your mindset about expanding and leveraging your network if you've got big reservations. Now, in researching this topic and doing some self-reflection, I actually realized that networking steps on one of my core values of equality. I'm excited to share how to make a perspective shift so you can build and activate your network. And I'm excited to share more about my process as well if it's helpful to you. So check out Monday's blog to learn more. Before you go, please do rate and review this podcast because it's immensely helpful to supporting my work. And if you're interested in joining one of my groups, head over to moonshotmentor.com to learn more. New cohorts are starting in January, and they typically fill up fast. So if you're interested, go dive into that right away. A very big thank you to Lynn Chen for the video and audio editing. You can find her on social at Ms. Lynn Chen. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week.